What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking the super cheap turbo Civic back to the dyno to see what we can get out of it. As you know, we are building a new engine for this thing, so before we go ahead and get that finished up and dropped in the car, I want to get it back on the dyno with the bone stock bottom end and the super cheap turbo kit that we put together and see what we can make with this thing, how fast we can get it to spool, and I want to test out our super cheap water methanol injection system that we made. If you guys want to check any of that out, you can go back on the channel. The Honda has its own playlist, so you can see it from when we picked it up for $500 to when we manual swapped it, built the turbo kit, and made the world's cheapest water methanol injection system. So let's get through the intro so we can get on the dyno. Now that we've gotten through the intro, I want to give you guys a quick rundown on what this car is, just in case you're new to the channel. So this is a 1999 Honda Civic that we picked up a few months back for $500. Once we picked this thing up, we instantly went to work on modifying it. So when we first got it, it was an automatic car, and someone had already swapped in a JDM D15B non-VTEC. So we had to get rid of the automatic transmission. So we did a manual swap, then got this thing on Hondata S300, and then proceeded to build the cheapest possible turbo kit that I could put together using leftover 2.5-inch pipe that we just had laying around and whatever else I could scrounge together, including an eBay blow-off valve, Amazon wastegate, and a maxpeedingrods billet wheel T04E turbo with an eBay manifold. And it's been working out really good for us. I've been super happy with it. It's been a strong little combo. We hand ported the turbo ourselves, which we did a video on a little while back if you guys want to go and check it out. But like I said, when we got it, it was automatic with the non-VTEC JDM. We're currently in the process of building a new D16Y8 for this thing, rods and pistons with a cam, to see what we can get out of it. But when we first got it, we threw it on the dyno just for fun, and it made right around 80 horsepower. So this thing was not a powerhouse by any means. It's still not, but we have over doubled the power. So the thing rips around pretty good. It's super fun to drive, and we're not in it for very much money at all. So let's head to SPOOL Innovations, get this thing strapped down, and see what we can do with it. All right, guys, so we are up here at SPOOL Innovations, of course, and we've got this thing strapped down on the dyno. We're getting ready to make a preliminary run. I've made some changes with the quick spool, and we added the water meth injection, really alcohol injection. So we're curious to see if it changed the actual spool time and if it changed the graph at all. So that's probably going to be the first run we make, just how it sits right now. And then of course we'll let him hop on the laptop and he will work his magic, and we'll see what we can get out of this thing. So let's go ahead, we'll get it warmed up, and then we'll start making some runs. So as you guys just seen, we made a couple runs, the first runs on the file that I had in the car that I've been street driving it on, and the boost definitely comes up quicker. Let me flip this thing around and I'll show you guys the graph compared to the last time we were here. So as you guys can see, this is the latest run, and playing with quick spool definitely helped because everything's coming up a lot quicker. It's getting on boost faster. But you can see right about here, this thing goes all crazy on us, and we're trying to figure out what that is. We're thinking it's ignition related, but we're not 100% sure yet. So he's checking some plugs. We found one that looked a little bit weird. So we're gonna investigate a little further and see if we can find anything. So as you guys just seen, we made another run after checking the plugs. They looked all right, but we're still having that same issue where it's breaking up, or at least it looks like it's breaking up. The car feels fine, but the dyno's showing something different. So let me flip you guys around here again and we'll take a look at it. As you guys can see, we've got two runs pulled up here. The red one is a previous one we did way back when, and then the other one is from today. And you can see it comes up and then it gets super choppy. So we might throw a set of plugs in this thing and hopefully try to correct this, but we're still not 100% sure what's causing it. So we're working through the issue right now, trying to figure out what the problem is, and then hopefully we can throw some more boost at it. So before we throw plugs in this, we want to try one other thing. We can't remember if way back when we were running this car, if we were running it in second gear. So we're going to go ahead and throw it in second, see if it makes a difference. Not exactly sure why it would, but we're going to give it a shot because I think that's where we were running it last time. So we'll go ahead, fire this thing back up and try it again. I want to tell you guys that we are working in collaboration with SPELAB to get you guys 15% off at checkout by simply entering the code BOUGHT2, that's BOUGHT, the number 2 at checkout to save 15% on anything that SPELAB has to offer, including these electric cutouts. Again, that's BOUGHT2, BOUGHT, the number 2 at checkout to save 15%. So we just made a pull in second gear and it looks like our spikes are out of there. So we're gonna go back to the file that we came in with today and we're gonna try running that one again and see what happens. As you guys can see looking at the graph, now that we have some smooth ones to work with, between the last time we were here and now, we did pick up right around 12 foot-pounds of torque and 12 horsepower from using the methanol and also using quick spool. So it's kind of cool to see it playing a role. So now that we've got a baseline set up, let's go ahead and up the duty cycle a little bit. So we just made another rip with putting the quick spool up to about 13 pounds, and then we went with the duty cycle up to 68. So we're making a lot more power. It's making almost 30 horsepower and 30 foot-pounds more. So this thing definitely feels a lot more lively and it seems a lot happier. I'll flip you guys around real quick so you can see the graph. We're now making 184 and 186, so it definitely woke it right up. And that is at right around 16 pounds way out here at the end. So it's definitely a lot happier. We have a little spike there, but I think that's just where this engine wants to make peak power, and then it's starting to taper off. guys, so we are back from the dyno, and as you can see, we did gain quite a bit of power today just by upping the duty cycle on the boost controller, but we did have a little bit of a gain overall from when we left last time to when we came in today because of what I did with the quick spool and adding the meth. I'm not sure if our meth injection is really helping all that much because we're not making a crazy boost number, so I'm curious to see what that's going to do on the new engine when we're really pushing this thing. So also, as you guys could see on the dyno graph, once this thing gets to peak torque, it really just lays over unless you cram all of the boost into it. And I didn't really want to push it much farther than we did today until we have our new engine together, because I don't really want to scatter this one until we have one that's ready to drop in it. So if you guys want to see this thing be a whole lot faster and make a whole lot more power, make sure to stick around, because with our new D16Y8 that we're building with Eagle rods, Vitara pistons, and a comp cam, we should be able to make right around 400 horsepower, if not even a little bit more. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. So as always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and check us out on all of our other social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, and Bought to Build Official on Instagram. And we will catch you on the next one.